So can you see this screen?
I can.
So we're looking at, for the recording, we're looking at trying to make a mix and match set of species in worms, this World Register of Marine Species. And in particular, we're going to take a subset of that called the Porifera and try to extract records and then put them up into mix and match. So what I've got here is a few tabs open. This is the Wikidata property for the identifier that we're trying to add. It seems to be a fairly old property. 850 is one of the first, I guess. But down here, I'm looking for a mix and match set and I'm not seeing one.
No, there's not. I did hunt for one.
So I guess we've looked on mix and match as well.
I looked on mix and match.
Yeah, so it's not there either. But somehow, this is now the talk page of the property. I'm just looking at the statistics and somehow we have actually managed to match a lot. Somebody has matched nearly 700,000 items. So it would be worth investigating how they did that, first of all, just in case it's already, our job is already done or something, but there's good progress there. In terms of the actual size of the whole set, here's worms, and there's a statistics tab. So let's have a look.
Oh, that's a good move.
What does this mean? Biota, all names or all species is in the 500,000s. So that's less than we have matched. Maybe we've got fossils as well. Let's tick fossils. Oh yeah, now it goes up to 700. The other thing is,
this also covers, although it says marine, it also does cover
so at the top right, you've got marine only.
You've got marine only, and it's really annoying to use because you have to unclick that piece of stuff at the top there. Sometimes you do a search without it, and it sort of, can be an irritation.
Okay, so wait, I keep checking. So extant only, but I've got extant and fossil, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still getting up to 750,000.
Yep.
Which is
maybe that marine thing doesn't make a.
Seems like we've only got about 70,000 left or 60,000 left.
Right.
But are you saying that many of the Porifera do not have this ID?
I can't remember now.
Let's get some examples. Yeah. So
go to AFD.
Okay, on Wikidata.
Yes, and take one of the examples or something to get yourself to AFD.
What's an example of a Porifera?
Well, that is the problem. You know how you do things. I should have got myself organized. I haven't got anything up on the side here.
Oh, well, let's get one from worms. Let's go quick search. No, hang on, let's do a search. How do we do a search? Taxa. And go straight for advanced search. Belongs to, oh yeah, Grant, is that right? 1836?
Not sure, but
probably right. Okay, so that will give us 24,000. Seems a reasonable number to deal with. So then
those Aeoptis ones are in.
So let's grab this one.
Such strange names.
Yeah, there's a name. Yeah, AAATA. So let's do that, and then let's have a look at it and see whether it's matched. So no, worms is not there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So for example, just as a test edit, we're going to do this and we're going to add is this the ID here at the very end?
That would be it.
And we're going to go like that and say publish and check if everything works for the link and all that kind of thing. Probably will. Good.
And there's a reason why somebody probably,
Unaccepted, whatever that
Yeah,
is.
so it's not, if you look at the item that you've got,
Yep.
it's got the, at the top, it's the name on there is actually, looks like it's been merged or
Oh,
something.
it's not
No, because it's the unaccepted, this is the current name, so
So in
also
some
known as.
languages, they're saying known as. Is that a fair thing?
I hate that myself.
No,
I
I
know
mean,
you
so
hate that.
I would put a synonym item.
But this is the only way we've found it.
It's
So,
revolting, but
Yeah,
yes.
I know. It is.
okay, wait.
revolting.
So you would make a whole item for this guy here,
I typically do.
and
but
so that,
yes,
and then that would, the ID on that one would be the ID we just
That's
added.
right.
So,
Yep.
and
so
one of the things
actually,
that you have to do when you come in, you have to
so
clean up
actually, I should
all
go
of the sort
here.
of things that aren't quite matches. But anyway,
That's the one.
Which
That's the one.
one? They're both the same, as far as I can tell.
no, they're not. They have different numbers in. If you click on one,
I will.
you'll
Now this is where I come up against my ignorance. I wouldn't know which one. I would go on how the item was written, and use the item in WoRMS with the yeah.
Yeah, let's check it. So they're saying that the taxon name is that without the brackets.
Yeah.
Oh no, the brackets is just the brackets are fine. Go back.
Brackets are fine.
But it's still got
Here's
two
the
items though under it, doesn't it? If it's,
It does because it sort of, because it can be known as the two things. So
yeah, okay.
this is a names database. It's not a taxon database.
Right.
So
Okay.
the names
Okay. Sorry. Yep.
are-
Yep.
It's exactly the same item, but
Yeah.
one specifies the subgenus.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
That alternative representation.
bracketing
Okay.
simply nominates the
okay, so
subgenus.
let's try to get this item right. So this is called what? This is called the subgenus assignment. Is that representation?
No, that's the genus, that's the binomial assignment, and that is what I use typically for the names.
Okay, so if I go
because-
like this
Because
and say something like it's what would the I'm
Object
trying
has
to
role.
yeah, role. Okay.
Object has role. Object has
Great.
role.
Okay, object
And
has
then-
role, binomial representation.
Yeah,
Binomial
it probably
name.
won't be there.
I don't think so.
Binomial name,
I mean,
principle here,
I actually,
that.
I think I think this is one of the very legitimate cases where you can talk about an alias.
Okay,
Because for me, and I could be entirely wrong about this,
so this one, we're
one
definitely
doesn't
allowed
have
to
to
use
nominate
these
the
two.
subgenus. It's sort of a convenience for taxonomists, is how I sort
Yeah.
of take it. And you know, we do work on a binomial nomenclature, and
Yeah.
So
so
what would this one be called? The one
I don't
where,
see that.
where you do
I'm
put
not
the
even
You would call
sure
it
whether this has
Clathria?
been.
Clathria, spongy, jita, whatever.
yeah,
that-
sorry, Margaret, what I mean is over here, when so this one was, oh, actually I can be even more clear. So I can go named as,
Yes.
there it was named as just the, oh, sorry.
I put it up the top as an alias because I actually think it's a really legitimate. In fact, it's one of the only cases I'm prepared to say this is an alias of the thing. So I put it up the top as an alias. I don't put it in as a
Yeah.
separate thing.
Oh, no,
Except, so
no, I
I'm
wouldn't.
happy to put
I
it up
wouldn't.
there. That what you're
Yeah,
saying
so
is you want it up
I
here,
put it
yeah?
there as an
Like that?
alias.
Yeah.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so that's fine. I've got no
And
problem with
now
that. But what I'm
yeah, I
trying to
see
do
what you
here
mean.
is give like the fact that we're going to give two IDs. I want to explain why we're
You're
giving
doing it.
two
I think
IDs.
that's good.
And
Yep.
so one of them was a binomial nomenclature where
Mhm.
it was named as just that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was named as the whole thing with the brackety thing. Now that one, the role was sort of, or the convention or whatever was binomial. What's this convention called when you?
I'm buggered if I know.
Okay.
Do you know?
Neither do I. Don't know either. I don't know
Okay.
either.
Well, I guess I can't put that in, but I'll just leave it like that
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
So we've
Yeah,
got two
I think
things going on.
that's pretty good.
There must be a formal term for it. There must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I wish I went to
they-
university. for
have,
it.
I wrote a note to Rod Page on, not on this subject, but on something close to it. And
Yeah.
I was, what do they call it? There's some, I'd have to find the note I wrote, but it's zoological coordination or something or other. So it's zoologically coordinated with something or other. And so if you
Yeah.
check the word zoological coordination, you'll find something.
So on this ID,
I wouldn't
Siobhan
have
would
that
put
one
it
there.
somewhere else. She
Yeah.
would make a whole other item about it
Yeah.
and say that's the ATA one.
Yeah.
And it's just a synonym.
Yes.
So I'll remove
And
it
the
for
subject has
now.
role.
And I think it needs to be separate because it had a different author and therefore it had different.
Well, how else are you going to track the changes in taxonomy? That's the thing. I mean, the whole
And
point
the
of it.
thing is, you
Yeah.
know, there is a paper down, somewhere down the track that synonymizes the two, and you've got to tell that whole history. And they have different physical objects in different museums that are, scientists have to look at and grab the DNA from to say this is the same and this is different. So, that they are, I think a different name requires a different item, even if it's not accepted. But this particular case with the subgenus in the middle of it, it's really the same thing. It's just
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Its role is subgenus assignment. Is that fair? This
Yes.
actually literally says that. So
yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
I'm gonna be a little bit
Yeah,
brave and even make a thing called subgenus assignment. And if someone finds out what it's really called, then feel free to merge it. So this is like, I don't even know what to call this. Hang on, let's figure this out a bit. So this is a naming scheme or something, is it? Principle of going, yeah, that's a principle. So this is a principle in strings, a 3-part name.
No.
No,
It's a subspecies.
Including.
So it's not a subspecies. The bracketing is indicating a subgenus.
Subgenus in brackets.
that'll go.
Which
I would still, that's nice. Yeah.
it must include, it's not including, it must, I think you've got to say which includes.
Which includes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So let's, or is it parentheses? I can't remember.
And I'd actually.
So, okay. So then
change the label anyway.
you are welcome to give it other things. So it's like the opposite of this, but it's probably the same subclass of biological nomenclature. Yeah, that's fair.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Of biological nomenclature.
And it crosses all taxa.
Okay, so I'm going to give you that ID in chat, and you feel free to fill it out to your best ability. And then we'll cheat and put this in here as object has role, and pop it in there. And then maybe we'll use that pair of things if we ever have this happening.
Oh, it happens all the time.
So that was good, but we failed to find an example of the 700,000 that have already been matched. So let's try again. And we could either do another Porifera one, or we could just go to this list, long list, and grab one that has already been matched. I don't know if this search will time out because it's kind of getting them all, but I don't know, getting just 1,000 of them. So,
that's not bad then.
That should be fine.
5 seconds, no problem. So these are all pretty high up. Can you see anything?
Well, there was a pied stilt.
Don't go for a fish or a bloody bird, please.
Okay. I won't go for a bloody bird. I'll go. Yeah, what's that? Is that a?
That sounds promising. It's not, grayling.
Yeah.
31,000. It's a fish. You didn't want a fish.
Okay. How amazing. That's all right. At least it's been named by its binomial name. We've got a chance of doing it.
Yeah, we'll do this one. Ceribes. Mollusk. Here, that's closer.
Lovely.
Okay, so that one should be a
I've
WoRMS
seen them
thing.
managed,
So
that's
there it
right.
is. WoRMS is there, and Succubot did it. So
Yeah.
that's the source of a lot of these, maybe. So let's get a reference. So in 2014, Succubot knew about all of the world register. That was good. So 1 December 2014. So we could go all the way back and figure out what they were doing. Just, I know this seems to be wasting time, but it might just give us a clue about what we need to do. So 2014, December, somewhere around here. WoRMS, here we go.
Added reference.
Created
Yeah.
claim and added reference. No extra details there. So maybe we won't be able to figure out how they did it. Okay. Well, anyway, but at least we know who to
So
talk
he
to.
he did it directly in Wikidata. Because
Yes.
otherwise it would say mix and match.
Yes. And
which
somehow.
he doesn't have, but he's done it directly in Wikidata. He does have various bots, Succubot.
Okay.
And, I'm not sure how they evidence themselves, but he certainly does a whole heap of things via bots.
Excellent. Oh, I'll show you another trick. What's that? Here, usage history. This is fun. So this is just showing a plot of when all these WoRMS-IDs were
Uploaded.
uploaded.
Terrific.
Let's take that away. And we probably should see a giant spike when a bot came into action. It's a cumulative histogram kind of thing, but this, by the way, is a good way of showing your work on, say, like the AFD, for example.
Yep.
You can see when we made the set, and you can see what happened after that set and how quickly the count goes up. If hopefully this
right,
works. But,
I'll have a look for that.
but it's a good,
Thanks for
it's
that,
a good,
Toby.
if this works. Let's have a look at this one.
Take it
Anyway, well, maybe while that goes, then maybe we should look into actually doing the big download or the scrape. So if we go back here and we do a search again, taxa. Oh, we're doing a search. Oh no, we want to do an advanced
Just
search.
go begins with I or something stupid.
Yeah, we may do that. That's
only just to
Oops.
see whether we can download it nicely.
Well, so this is Porifera.
Mhm.
We got them before. And there were about 25,000. So that would be a reasonable amount to download. But if you go like this and download results, I think that it says you've reached the maximum number of downloadable results, which is only 1,000.
Oh, that's a bugger, isn't it?
So you can actually request a giant download. So maybe Succubot did that and got the entire list. But we probably won't get an answer tonight. So let's keep trying other options. Interestingly, here, when you do a download, you can choose all these things.
Yes,
right?
it's quite nice actually, and they always have the same name, so it doesn't matter what you download. You always have the same set of names. So if you're using Open Refine to match, your schema will work across all your various downloads.
Right.
Which is quite nice.
Do the ticked thing, if let's say we did only want 1,000, do these ticked things sort of match what we want? Or would we would want to know if it's a fossil?
And
yeah, we need that for sure. This is the ID itself.
Yep.
AFIA ID. Huh. So do we
no,
the timeout. But anyway, so do test that this one usage history on maybe on a slightly smaller set, because maybe main statement's faster. But anyway, it's quite fun, and you can really see your efforts paying off. But what I was going to see here is yes, AFIA ID is an alias. Oops. AFIA I don't know what that is, but it's
No, it's just the
it's
name
what they're
they
calling
use
it.
within the system, their system.
Okay, so that we would get that. We would get this fossil. I would imagine we would want fossil.
Yep.
We would want rank and status. Quality, that could be good as well. I don't know.
I can't think of where to put it in for the moment, but
Oh, we may not put it in, but we might use it as like a filter. If quality is bad, we might say, oh no, we don't want that or something.
Parent AFIA ID.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
that's a really nice one, because that would allow you
LSID.
to put up taxa with parents.
Life science identifier.
Huh.
Do you know what this is?
No, I have no idea.
A unique identifier for some data. So yes, I have seen some of these before.
Yeah, I have seen one. I have seen it.
So for example, Zuo Bank chucks that long thing on the end, and then if you feed it in, you can get back to wherever the item was. Okay, well, so I don't know if these, but yeah, we would want that for sure. And then parent stored path, don't know what
the thing is with all of those, you can because they're part of a standard schema within WoRMS, you can reconstruct the URL if necessary. I mean, if it's something that you need.
Yeah, so LSID.
So it's fine, you tick it. But the AFIA ID will get you wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I would tick it because I can't construct that long 64-bit thing out of a. So like, see this long string here. I can't make that out of an AFIA.
No, but that's not a string that you're going to need. I mean, this isn't. Oh, I see.
It sounds like a really good string. It sounds like a. Maybe we even have an. I don't know. Do we have an item
identical to it? I thought it was a general.
It is general.
statement.
Yeah, it's a really general thing.
I didn't take it as meaning that was the.
Oh, we don't have a property. It's a subclass of URN, but we don't have a property for it. Okay, so that probably should have a property. If anyone's watching this, you want to propose a property, maybe propose that. But so okay, back to what we're doing. So where is it here? So yeah, we'd like that. We don't care about those things. Vernacular.
No, forget bloody vernacular.
Classification is good. Environment.
There's no vernacular anything in English as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there is for fish, obviously.
Yeah, so that looks like what we would want. As just an example, I'll just say download just for those 1,000 and see what we get and see if we like what we get. But this still will not be the full 25,000 that we wanted. So then we can try and cut it up even smaller and then maybe reconstruct it into a single mix and match set. But let me show you what I got. Here. So a bunch of AFIAs, scientific names. Oh, look, we can try the ARTA guy and see whether it was like a bad. So it was, yeah.
Unaccepted. Yeah, taxonomic.
They're unaccepted. Yeah. And so out of all these, yeah, this might help. So if we just go like this, oh no, enable editing data.
You need to speak into your microphone, I think, Toby.
Sorry, you can't hear me?
You must have been muttering away there.
I did mutter. Okay, so I have enabled editing, and here is the data. So I'll filter it so we can then see how many of these first 1,000 we can get rid of by saying if we only wanted the accepted ones, that'd be a good.
It would.
Well, do you want any of these others?
We don't want nomen nudum.
Tell me what they mean, because I don't.
Well, nomen nudum means that somebody proposed the name but didn't write a description.
Okay.
And that often means that the name is available for somebody else to use later on, and it becomes a complete not a dog's breakfast, but there are cases where the name then becomes subsequently used because it's not actually used when it's a nomen nudum. So it can get messy.
Okay, sure. And superseded is clearly old. So
Yeah.
we
we could leave
would that
those
be
out for the moment.
and you would make those into whole different items called superseded name, would you?
No, I wouldn't at all.
No.
I'd put them up if I wanted to, but I'm probably after, I mean, superseded combinations actually are valuable because they are often the very first, you know, they can be the original combination. And it's really handy, if particularly in the English Wikipedia, to be able to say the original combination was, and then it appears down nicely in your taxon bar. And so I think superseded combinations should go up myself, because the reality is that the very first one gives the species epithet for all the following ones, and then there's a million ones in between, and only the very last one is not superseded. You know, I mean, you get ones that have had 5 or 6 name changes along the way, and you'd certainly like the first name, and you'd like the last name, but there's a whole history there that you know. Think of the cane toad. It's had many generic name changes in its life history.
So this one looks like an example. So I just filtered for superseded,
right?
And then I got the one. There was only one example, so I got that one and went over here. So that we have an item for the superseded name, and then, but if I type here, it also goes to Haliclona scenaria.
Yes.
And so that's another item.
And you then need to go to the actual item in IRMNG.
Also known as what the hell?
Yeah, lots of things. Cebuano loves it. But I'm not going to fix the whole thing. What I'm going to do is try and get the worms correct. And so they have 2 different wormses. There's a worms, and that should be the superseded one. Yeah. Superseded. Yeah, that's good. Genus transfer. Okay, and then this one is,
and it tells you what it's gone to.
Should be where it's gone to. So this should be is an alternate representation. Wait a minute.
No, that's because the accepted name is the one that has.
They're saying that the accepted name is the 3-part name.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The item we made may not have the right title, but okay. So, but the point is, this is really where it is. Haliclona. Yeah. So they've done. So that these are well-matched wormses. We could also add an accepted name worms, which is this one here. And we could put that on Haliclona as well. And then this one would be named as the full thing.
Yes.
And we are calling that role. We're saying that role is called subgenus assignment, whereas this one had
binomial.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff named as, and it doesn't have that in it, and then it has role binomial name. Oh, here. I got it wrong before. This is, yeah, that's what we need.
This is binary. Not is it binary? Would it be a binary name?
But this is the right item.
No, but that said it was for botanical. This isn't botanical, is it?
It's I see. Dyad and validly published name. Well, this seems better than the other one was called like a whole system. So you would I reckon you would also call this a binomial name.
I think you call it a binomial name. That one, and particularly somebody's, whether it, I mean, whether the
Dyad,
two things
validly
should be merged or
published.
not, but it's not a botanical name. So
Oh, what's a binomen?
This is
Different.
where you need taxonomists here to help us.
That's a binomial name. And it's
Yeah.
part of binomial nomenclature. It's different from a binary
Different from
name.
a binary name.
so go to
And
binary name and see what it says about
only in-
binary name.
It's only in German. So we can't even find out.
No, go
Okay,
to it. You
this is a
can.
binomial name. Dyad, Anyway,
Dyad
back to
just
where we
means
were.
two. So I mean, it doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, yeah.
but there are two things. One is a binomen and one is a binary name, and both of them are called binomials in some. Okay, so
Well,
this
they
is a bit
are.
we need to figure this out if we're going to use.
Yeah.
You see it saying a
Yeah.
facet of, yeah.
If we're going to use this object has role thing, we have to be a bit careful whether it's a
You have to know what the terms actually mean that you're
Yeah.
pointing them towards.
So I'm going to point
Yeah.
it there, but we shouldn't do anything big before we get that right.
No. Yeah.
So, okay, we're learning a lot. That's good. So this one, what we were doing this thing. And so this one is not real. This is an old name.
But that is the original one.
Yes. So what should it
needs
be
to
called?
Kept and well, no, we need to keep it. And what we need to put in the whole thing is the original, we need to plonk in that it's
The original combination is a statement all by itself. So get out of the instance
doesn't go there.
Go down into a statement.
Go down to statement and say original combination. But
this one is the original.
You've got to do it in haloclona.
Yeah. So this.
So
okay.
in this one,
I'm going to point to this from here.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
So up
So
here, maybe it already has it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I put a separate statement in there saying subject has role.
Now you go original combination.
Okay, the combination where the species group name used here
that's
was
first. That's the Dosia cinerea.
Like that.
That's right. And you tick it, and you would probably reference it by the WoRMS thing, but let's leave it for the moment.
But then how does this one
say? Well, go down and add a statement again.
Yep.
And you go subject has role, and it's a new statement.
Okay.
Go on, click it. And I think I use an as. No, just as. Oh, yeah, that's right. Original combination.
In zoology?
Yep.
Basionym.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Publish
and then no, of.
Or of.
Yeah.
Of, and now
Then
you write haloclona, whatever scenario.
Okay.
Perfect. And that now you've got you've got the two reciprocal statements and they're linked correctly.
Yeah,
and that's, it's really, really important, I think.
And then when you've got the original combination, you can then add a reference to the taxon name, which will be the original description of the species, which has obviously changed its name along, but you can then manage to link all the literature as well.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, that sounds good, but slightly off scope. Is that right?
Yeah,
like
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I know.
Which you do, but here you just, you're just getting those roles.
Yeah, for me, I guess I'm just trying to make sure I understand what this WoRMS stuff is that we're about to grab, and deciding, for example, we needed to decide whether to get the what's it called, this category, the superseded category.
Yes,
it seemed like it was useful.
Yeah, no, we want to. We definitely want to include it.
So we want accepted and we want superseded.
We do.
And we probably also, I think alternate just means the bracket version. So I think we want that. That means we'll get.
Okay, let's have a look and
see.
Unclick the accepted and unclick your superseded. So you can just see what the alternate representation looks like.
Yep, sure. So that looks like this.
Okay.
With lots of brackets.
And
Yeah.
where's
Oh, and
our-
one non-bracket, which has
oh,
ended
there's
up as
plenty
an
of ones
alternate.
like that. So
Let's find out.
where's the
Let's
bit,
figure out
where
what
are our
that one's
headers?
doing.
Let's go to our headers, see what we've got there.
I just want to see what that one's doing because that's a bit of a weird one. So I'll close a few things. Sorry, just getting rid of stuff. So this is a new type, a morphina, and it's an alternate of the bracket one, which they say is accepted on this one. So that's up to them, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not, it's
But
not,
one of
it's
the
not
things
consistent.
It's
that
not
on
consistent.
this score, you know, this is where databases do not match. So you'll see, I think I'm not sure, actually, I was going to say AFD doesn't always have the bracketed form as being an accepted form. They have it there, and it's certainly how they represent it. When it totters off to Wikidata, you know, that's the bit that links.
Right.
But what is accepted varies between databases. So I don't think we should get too hung up on accepted, frankly.
But we want both, don't we? We want
want
the
both,
alternate and the accepted, and they'll
do.
end up as they'll end up as two values on the same item.
Not necessarily, but
What can you think of a case where they won't?
well, it's the first time we've yeah, I mean here they will with the subgenus thing, they will end up on the same thing.
Good. Okay. Oh, here's an example. That's not yeah, let's find out what
that's because it happens to be the subgenus name itself. If you look at the rank of that, that's a subgenus.
It is. That's why I picked it. But what I want to know now is what is that an alternative of?
It's not an alternative of anything. Well, it actually has
Look,
another version, which is just the single name.
Yeah. So they just pull out that.
Typically in Wikidata, we put it in as the single name.
Sure.
And
so
you put this in as an alias, and again, it's one where it's a perfect alias.
Oops.
So, but it's one which people have a lot of trouble with because they often pick the wrong part to name the thing by.
So I want to play with this.
It's a real dog's breakfast if you're trying to do automatic matching. You know,
exactly.
Just about every case you have to go in.
And we are. So we're trying to do. So this is a species in that subgenus.
That's a species.
So let's go up. No, it goes too high up.
No, well, that's the point, because, and at this point it becomes really curious because there are some, I mean, not every family that has subgenera has all of its species allocated to the subgenera. So the next thing in the sequence is the genus.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
Okay.
And because the system is binomial anyway, lots of people
you can just skip it. Yeah.
The parent is the genus.
Yeah.
And so you will get variance there.
Okay.
It doesn't matter hugely. I mean, what really matters is that you have a parent that is justified by some database, which may differ from the parent that is justified by another database.
Okay.
And that they go all the way up the taxonomic tree.
Yes, I agree. Very important to go all the way up the tree.
So you know, again, it's one of those things about naming that, I mean, the reality is that we still essentially have a binomial and trinomial and whatever, single name things. We have single names for orders, single names for genus, single names for subgenera. And sometimes to make it clearer, you plonk in the brackets. But if you look at how people have been trying to deal with this in chaos, most people are trying to stick to the single name for subgenera. So they would use, and yep, lovely. And they write the article that way, but you'll find in wiki species, sometimes they'll write the article with the bracketed name. And they're both accepted names. At least I sort of think they are, but whether they are or aren't, I don't know. You'd obviously have to speak to her.
Well, this database claims that the one without the brackets is there's the accepted one.
Well, that's the one we've been working on.
But the other is the alternate, and that's fine. yeah. So but it does look like we're going to end up with them on the same item.
Yeah, and that's not a problem. I mean, the theory is, I mean, when we set up an identifier, we say unique identifiers, but they're not unique. You know, not if it's a names database, particularly with this kind of thing where you have two different names for the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's called zoological coordination. Try looking up zoological coordinates.
For what? Sorry?
Zoological coordinate.
But what for? What?
In Wikidata, just take a look and see. It's a property somewhere.
Okay, you can just put a link in chat if you find it. I can't see.
If I find it, I'll look for it.
So that, for example, is a WoRMS-ID that's in between this one and its parent. So this one, we could do like a parent that was actually that as well. And then we could take that one away because this one.
No, it will be put up there by other things. So you reference it, you reference them separately.
So you've got, it's okay to have two parents?
Well, it's not particularly, but I mean, personally, I don't do that. But
like this object has role, subgenus, like that. Maybe, and this object has role.
Makes it difficult for people, but
what does?
Oh, I mean, theoretically, one has this choice, but I hate it sort of branching out like that because it means that it will struggle to go up the taxonomic tree if you have two parent taxa.
They'll loop back together pretty soon, so they.
Okay.
Yeah, I get your issue if you're trying to do but it is a parent. And anyway, okay, so I think I'm getting the sense that even in that even in that case there, it was good to have the one called alternate representation, because for a subgenus, it's really actually, it's good to have this long one, but it's also good to have the short one because some people use one and some people use
it allows people to make a match. Now, one of the reasons people haven't been able to make matches is the bracketing. And so the bracketing is really, really useful for people coming along later with the alternative names. It's really.
Okay, so I think we've, no, not that. I think we've convinced ourselves, hopefully, that we like this alternate representation, and we clearly want the accepted, and we decided that we did want that one.
No, we did want that, and we want accepted, and that's it, I think.
Well, I don't know what this one is, so
no, it means they don't. There's a problem with the taxon. It says, you know, we need to inquire about this taxon.
Okay.
And so I tend not to put.
Okay, and we
it's just simply, you know, people are struggling with its taxonomy is really what they're saying. So I think there's no point in putting it up until they've struggled and succeeded.
So good. I think that's a good choice. And that, by the way, now halves the number that we want. So we were getting 512 out of the 1001 or something like that. So that, what I was hoping was that would reduce our set of downloading things from 24,000 down to 1,000, but it didn't. It won't reduce it that much. We could possibly go here and say we're in the Porifera, and then we could say like somehow we choose status, accepted, or alternate name, or all of these unreplaced junior.
No, we don't want a junior homonym.
Well, that's part of accepted. I don't know what.
Right, okay. It's unreplaced junior homonym. That's so okay. Yes,
does that mean like
right? It means that it's
still happy
earlier name and it hasn't been replaced.
Okay, it's
so it
still the best.
Been replaced by a different generic combination.
Okay, so somebody got it right the first time.
or somebody hasn't revisited it.
Okay. But anyway, so accepted, if we just said we wanted accepted, then we could search and just see how many we get there. Now we're down to 10,000. That's good. But we still can't download unless we do something fancy. So like if I hit page 50, what do I get? I get up to 5,000. So this is where scraping could potentially extend the range a bit. Like you could scrape page 1, then scrape page 2, then 3, up to 50, but they've cleverly left 50 as the end, and I can't actually code it in the URL. When you click through to the next page, it doesn't, in this data set, it does not change the URL string. So it means like we don't have 50 different URLs to grab data from. So they've protected themselves a bit against scraping. It does not look like we'll be able to easily scrape all of these. Let's go back a little bit. So yeah, we're getting to the point where we either need to actually request or we need to do something fancy. And this might have been the point where I sort of stopped on WoRMS and thought, it's a bit much effort, but if it's worth it, let's try. So Porifera, if you imagine, so we've limited to that. We said status needs to be accepted. And then if we say the scientific name begins with A, let's try that.
I wouldn't put in the accepted with it if it just begins with A. I'd go for your other options as well. No,
okay, well, it turns out we need it.
Yeah, we do need it.
Need it because it's still over 1,000, but we're nearly on 1,000. And some letters are more popular than others.
A is very popular.
A is pretty popular. I agree.
A is because people go, right, can't think of a bloody name. I mean, there's one thing that's called AABB something or other, or AAA, triple B. You know, you can sense the frustration of the taxonomist.
The Aptos. Yeah. Okay. So interestingly, this one has an Aptos and an Aptos variant.
Yep.
Which is, I mean,
variety,
good. I'm glad they've got. Oh, sorry, variety. Yeah. So we could limit it even more strongly by chopping off some of those, like not doing those first, or we could just try and squeeze into the 1,000.
We could ask for just species, for example.
Correct.
Might be able to nominate.
I wish I could change the search. How do I change the search?
Go back to.
If I go back, it goes all the way to the. I have to type it all in again. Oh no, here it is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I've been doing something wrong.
So rip out the accepted and go. What were we going to say?
Well, how do we get species? We could do like level rank here. Rank. Is
and just go species.
Oh, so long.
Here it is. Yeah.
Species. Yep. Okay. So that rank is species accepted. Yeah, this should be less than 1,000.
Because I think you might be able to get it with. Perhaps not.
894.
So yeah, that's a good number.
Yep, it's not bad.
And we could do this 26 times if we cared all about sponges.
Yep.
So maybe we'll try and do it for the A's.
Okay.
Remember that if you get up to like M and it turns out that M has more than 1,000, then we will be stuck. Like we need to something else.
Say starts with MA or starts with, you know.
Oh, look at this. Okay. See, so it says click on one of the taxon names, and we've got 3 options: new search, direct link, or download results. Very tempting to just click download results and go with it, which is, I think, what we'll do first. Like that'll be our test set.
I think that's a good move.
But I think they've supplied us with something very powerful. and they may not realize what they've done. But this is, I think, the secret to scraping. So, so we'll look at that in a sec. I just want to clean up my stuff. So I'm going to close a bunch of this. Let's go right back to this. Okay, and we probably don't even need that anymore. So let's just go there for now. So yes, this real powerful thing is what it says is direct link. So notice that the URL has not been changing even when we've been searching, which is annoying to anyone who wants to scrape. But this one, direct link, is going to have all the, I don't know if you can read it, but I can see down the bottom, it says like marinespecies.org/aphia.php ? And then it has all the different settings that we've put in place. So actually, I'm going to open that and have a look up here. You can see it now. So we're still doing a tax list, but we've also put in some parameters, and it begins with A. And notice that we could switch that, and we could type begins with B with all the other settings being identical. And then it should give us all the B ones, which it does. And there are 138, but it's only showing us 100 of them. So that would be okay for scraping 100, but I don't know how to get to the next page, because this is now a JavaScript thing, and so it wouldn't necessarily give a direct link. What I could do is say begins with BA and try that. And then we only get 30, which is less than 100. So what we're aiming for is to get pages that are all less than 100 now, because then if they appear on the front page. So like AA should have less than 100. It only has 25. And then AB has some. And then AC. Yeah, see where I'm going with this?
Rapidly losing.
Oh no, AC had more than 100, more than 100, right? So we should have done ACA.
Go away, Toby.
No, but no, I'm
no,
even that has 102. ACA. Okay, so this will get 0, and ACAB might get some, and then so maybe we've finally dissected it enough. Now, this seems a bit dumb, but actually, I've lost it. Nothing starts with ACA.
ACAD, try D.
I think I did D already, didn't I?
Oh, okay.
Okay, D. I'll do D again just for you. No, let's go back.
No, you're right.
I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete it and see what they all are. They start with L and then N. And then lots of N's. Whoa. Yeah. I see.
And
R. So it's a little bit lumpy.
Yes.
But this may be our best shot. So if we had to search down to the 4th, oops, I didn't mean to do that. If we had to put in 4 digits, what are they called?
Letters.
Wrong again. Yeah, letters. 4, not numerals, but letters. Hey, keeps distracting.
Does it not like us?
I think I'm doing the right thing, but I don't mean it to. Oh, I see. It maybe. Ooh. Oh, so maybe when there is only one option, it goes straight there.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, that's going to cause trouble. So what I'm saying is this ACAL one is, I think it's going to go to that item, and then it's not going to give us a list. Whereas the ACAN gives us a list.
We'll give you a list.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is going to be annoying. I'll show you why later. But so it's just to keep going with what we were hoping. Then, if we have 4 loops of 26 letters, That's 26 to the power of 4, which is
Quite a lot.
squared. It's 456,000, 457,000. So the scraper, even just for Porifera, would have to scrape
Ye gods, no thank you.
460,000 pages, and each of those would return a list, and then it would grab every name on the list and every ID on the list, and it would make them into a mix and match. So we could do that.
Can you do a demo for a couple?
A couple of what?
Scrape a couple of these pages.
Mix and match isn't, I don't know why, but it doesn't, it's not great with demo. Oh yeah, no, it does. Sorry, you're right. There is a way. Okay, so you just have to never press create. Okay, so yeah, so when you're creating a mix and match set, you have a choice of either uploading a list that you already have, right? Like if you've downloaded an Excel, that's perfect. That's you manipulate the Excel as much as you like, and you get exactly what you want, and then you upload it. I think that's roughly what did we do that last time or no? Anyway, that's the perfect case if you've already downloaded a set. That's why the first question I asked you tonight was, have you downloaded a set? Because that would have saved us a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, that's fine. I often butt my head against databases that don't want to give a full download, and that's fine. I can often find a way around. So the next one is to do a scrape. So create a web scraper. So it's that one there, and the simple details are that you want it to, it's going to apply to this property. So we say like the Wikidata property is that. That fills out all this for us. The catalog ID will create, if we leave it empty, it'll create a new catalog. So that's what we want. The type is biology. And then we're set to go. So down here is where we make, like we decide what pages to scrape, and you always want to scrape more than one. So this is the way of like specifying your loop. And so the loop over which we want to go can have more than one inside loop. It can have a loop inside a loop inside a loop. And so for example, the first loop we're going to have is like this. It's a to Z key level. So we add a keys level and we say, it says, for example, you put A to Z, 1 per row. And there's even a shortcut to put all of the A to Zs 1 per row, because somebody's done this exact thing before. So if you do that, then there are the 27 A to Z, 26, all the way down. And so this is now our level 1 key. It says it will scrape 26 URLs where the variable, the level 1 variable will change. It'll increment through all of those as you go. So for example, we could do a scrape that was this, oh, not that, this whole thing. Where's it gone? Here, where the URL pattern had all of that stuff. I don't know why we needed the session month ends, but anyway, that's what they had before. If we go all the way back to here though, somewhere, it said like begins with. Oh, there. So it begins, T name, begins. Yeah, begins with, and then what we would do is say it begins with $1. So the $1 is coming from this key. And it will get inserted into here, and that'll be the URL that we scrape. So we would just scrape 26 URLs, A, all the ones that start with A, all the ones that start with B, and C and D, and so on. But then each time, actually, we would only get 100 of them, because this page only displays the first 100. So if we wanted, we could have another key level, which would be another lot of A to Z, and that would be, it would begin with $1, $2, like that. And then that now is scraping 26 times 26, which is only 700 pages, which is definitely doable and will get us most of the Porifera, but not all of them. So we should, while I remember, we should actually say, Porifera, because we're only doing one set. Maybe we'll go like Porifera only. Porifera. So it's kind of attempting to get a fair bit of stuff, and that's why it's only a test, because we're maybe not going to be able to do this whole thing this way, but anyway, we'll see. So URL pattern, oh, I know how we could divide it differently. We haven't thought of that. So so we noticed that this was lumpy.
Yeah,
lots of things started with A.
Yep.
But actually the other thing, the other chunks might not be so lumpy.
But A is particularly bad.
What I'm going for here is that if we do it by letters and by something else, so like it begins with A, but then we could, like, I don't know, find like the name of the person or something. Here, like this one, authority. Hey, I can't change this.
Oh,
one. Authority begins with A, right?
It'd be capital A.
Oh, really? Okay. So imagine all the things named by A that has an authority A. That's quite cute, because that divides it differently.
It does. That's quite neat.
Still getting 1,000 there, and we can go direct link, and then we could say Azevedo made Albespora. So then potentially we could do all the ones that begin with AA that have authority. Oh, no one begins with AA. AB 13. So yeah, let's see if we can cut it up any other ways, because the more ways we can cut it, maybe the less lumpy it goes. So we don't have to have so many. It's
likely to be lumpy anyway, because you get I mean, for example, in thrips, I don't know, in any particular group of taxa, one person has done an enormous amount of work often, and
right.
And that's very lumpy.
But what if that person, what if we don't split it about that person? What if we split it about a year or a day or something?
Year might be. Well, that could be interesting. That might break up quite nicely.
Oh, search. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we want advanced search only. So this is a little bit messy, but it could be fun. So scientific name begins with A, authority begins with A, status is accepted, rank is
species. Up, drop, yep.
Now we need more. Oh, it belongs to Porifera. We've got that as well. And so now we need something more. So, whoa, look at all this. We could do organization name. Oh no, that's original.
They are basic. Oh no, you get freshwater ones, I think.
Remember, we want to split this. So note, acknowledgements begin with A. What's
an acknowledgement?
Just some random note in the record.
I think it's. I just
look. I'll show you.
That often to think that it will do anything.
They don't have acknowledgements. Okay, wait a minute.
Exactly.
B.
I don't think that's a very promising one, Toby.
Okay.
I don't know what acknowledgements are, which means that I probably haven't seen it that often.
Right. Okay. I'm starting to agree with you. Okay, so let's not worry about acknowledgements. What about altitude or authority? Oh, no, wait, the authority would be the name.
Already got that. You could have Bayesian. Oh, no, because not everything has a Bayesian.
Don't think biology, think statistics. What we're trying to do is find
no.
some random key that can be broken up.
Museum could be a goer.
Museum begins with A. Let's see. Or we can also
no, capital A. Museums are capital, typical.
Okay.
Typically.
Oh, A.
Go
yeah.
B.
Okay. B in a sec. Okay, maybe museum is never filled in. So maybe that. What about this thing here, these dates?
No, those dates just refer to when the database began, and they show things about the database, about the people who are involved with it, rather than anything else. They've got nothing to do with when the species was first described.
I've somehow ended up with 0 results even without the thing. Oh dear, I've done something wrong. So we were getting 0 results even with. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to try again. I'll do the whole thing again because I ended up with only 1 result. So what do? A search taxa. Go advanced. It belongs to Porifera. We wanted status accepted for sure.
And we wanted rank equals species.
Rank is species. Okay, so just to check we get something there. Yes, good. That's 9,000. That's good. So then if I put an A on that, it's, yeah, 800. Okay. So then if we, what's editor? Action. No. Okay. So, but if we.
The editor is somebody who actually put in the record into this database. And there's 14 or so of them, roughly, I think. But again, I'm not quite sure how active any one or other of them might have been. So it's, again, it will be lumpy.
So this is a 1-year block. No records in that 1-year block. And then if I go up to, well, why would they have a, did they really start this in?
Yes, it's a relatively new database. I think it was started by Rob Van.
Okay, so that has cut it a bit. So we could go like 2005. So potentially we could cut it by year of entering the database or something.
Yes,
which is
yes,
even weird. So maybe like 20 years, 20 names, 20 names, something like that. 26 names, 26 names, and 20 years. That would give us.
And some of those would be empty, I think.
13,000. Some, yes, many will be empty, but we can handle that. Some of them will be singular, and that appears to be annoying for WoRMS. WoRMS diverts all the singular ones. But okay, so let's get a direct link for that. Did we do the name thing? No, I didn't do the name. Sorry, just got to put a S on the, begins with S there. Okay, so try this. 101 AS direct link. So here we go. So on mix and match, we now have a set of keys. This set of keys is wrong. We actually want capitals for the name. And then we're going to set a range level, which starts at 1996, goes up to 2022, and has a step of about 2. This will scrape 8,000 URLs.
Right.
And we'll get this. And we'll go like
Well,
that.
where did you get that 8,788 URLs?
It just works it out for us.
Oh, it calculated it from the levels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
So the URL pattern, I've just pasted the long thing. We've put Siobhan to sleep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Do you want to
No,
go to sleep?
But
Really?
I really this morning. I was 6 o'clock this morning.
Do you really? No, like you've kind of seen enough. If you like, you can. If you want to give up, that's totally
I
fine.
feel really bad.
This
is anyway. Feel free to go if you need. So that's authority.
No,
I'm still alive. I carefully took a sleep in the middle of the day, so I'd be awake for this.
Okay. Oh, well done. So that's $2. $1 begins here. So this is $1, and then $3 is going to be a little bit tricky because it starts. Okay, here. So it starts, session year is where it starts. So 1996. So that's like $3. But the problem is we have to kill it
as well
at the end. And I don't know how to do that because what we want is $3 plus 2. But I don't know if I can do that.
Calculate it.
Oh, maybe I just delete this. Maybe I'll just, oh, okay, no, then I'll assume you're going to the end. Sorry, I don't think, oh, session month.
Is there
maybe we can do cycle
way of doing
through
calculations in the midst of these strings?
No, not that I know of. We're so close. I'll go back and try something else. So yeah, session month before and after. Wonder why it needs before and after. Suppose it does. Oh, okay. There's lots of editors. Okay, let's go editor A through Z. That's a little lumpy, but they're uncorrelated with the other stuff. They're not. Yeah. These are not the authorities. So no, okay, so let's go. Yeah, like editor. Oh, I hope this is an A, not a amnolic. Gotta find one that works. I do have too much on at the moment. I'll delete that one. And let's just
try. I'll pick your name, Rob Van Zurst, because he's Van Zurst, VAN.
You know the editors.
Yeah, I know he's edited this stuff. Van Zurst. There you go, Rob Van Zurst. Up a bit higher. There you go. Drop.
There, got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He would have edited a whole whack. He was an editor-in-chief at some stage.
He did, 72 of them. Okay. So let's get a direct link for that one. So I just want to see how the editor got coded into here. Person ID, that could be this one, person ID equals 14. So that's actually really good because then we can cycle through person IDs quite easily.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
That's good because they're numbered, but we don't know what they end with. Oh, we've got.
So
they might go up to 40.
So I took one away. I took the S away, but I'm going to put the S back in just to really limit it. So begins. I've forgotten, is it N name? Wait, I just see what we had before. So the T name is the first thing and the name authority. T name authority is the second one. Okay, so T name way back here. T name authority equals nothing. Okay, so if I put an S in there.
Oh, that's taken a V from Van Zurst.
No, what do you mean? No,
Oh.
the Van Zerst is number 14, I think.
Oh, goody.
So,
Okay.
so this is good. If I take this whole lot, then I think we're on track. And so here, instead of that thing, we're just going to go at a range level. It starts at 1 and goes up to however many editors there are in steps of 1. I'll come back to that and get it right in a sec. But so here it would look like this. It would have person ID equals number 3.
Oh.
And
okay.
then like the third level, the third.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yep.
And
Gotcha.
then back here.
We're looking for
somewhere.
T name something.
Yeah.
T name authority was 2.
Yep. $2.
$2. Okay, going back. Tax begins with
$1.
T
This
name
one
A.
here. Yeah.
Yep. And that should
Okay.
be capital, I think. Oh, it's number
No,
1.
no,
Yeah,
I think
$1. Yep.
Oh, interestingly, it was
those
working
should-
when it's not a capital.
Ah, okay, that is interesting. So
But anyway, that maybe it doesn't matter too much because it's
probably
working.
doesn't matter for me. Good.
So the next thing I'm going to do is slightly weird, but it'll help us, I promise. So that is I'm going to move this S to be first in the list because we know that there's someone with S.
Oh, got you.
Although we don't know that someone with a number 1 will work. Let's see if number 1 does work. Like whoever this editor is, person ID. I just want to see if they've done. The reason is we need an example that will show up on the first.
Yep.
On the first one. So I'll just take that out and see if number 1 person has done anything. Let's take this out. No, number 1 person has not done anything. All right. Number 2.
Put in 14. Start with 14. We know Rob Van Zerst has.
Wait, no, you can't start with 14. As in, then you'll lose all the.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All the first people. So, oh, gee. Okay.
Oh, right, because it's a range. Yep, I got you.
Yep, got it. Okay, so sorry, it means we do have to look. We have to just keep going until we find someone who's done something. Maybe am I getting it wrong, or maybe they just don't do Porifera. Maybe only that guy does Porifera.
Oh, that's right. All of those names are names for the entire. No.
Yeah, I think the editor list is.
Yes.
So maybe number 14 is the first. But
Nicole something or other as well. Whatever her name is.
Well, we're getting there. I'm halfway to 14 already.
Super.
I'll just keep going until I get to 14 because then we know that there's nobody before 14. But this means that the splitting method is not splitting it very well.
No, it's lumpy in the names and it's lumpy in the authors
Person
and all the
ID.
rest of it. You know.
Okay, well, let me I think because we're running out of steam a little bit, what I'll do is I'll start at number 14 just as a demo and I won't make the set. So if we were to start at number 14 and we were to look for Schmidt or whoever S was and start with A, then just go up to like, I don't know, 16. Step number 1. Yeah, so as in it just goes in steps of 1. Here's this thing, which I think we got this already right. So then, okay, then you get to this thing. Now we have to extract once you get a list, which looks something like that, you get 72 records and they're all on a list like that. Now you have to extract from this list the name and the ID, because they're the crucial things that we definitely need. So to get that, we have to get it out of the page source, which looks like this, which will have items, see all these list items.
Yep.
they have over there, they have the stuff. So they have the stuff in brackets that we want. Sorry, in italics that we want. They also have the name, which maybe we'll grab as well. And then they have an ID somewhere in
Which
here.
is there.
Okay, so
It's the AFIA PHP.
so the
tax
crucial
detail.
thing is that each of these occurs as a different LI, see list item in HTML. So then you go to my user page, because I have a little thing stored which you always need, and it's this. Where's it gone? Maybe down the bottom. Yes, mix and match notes to catch each table row using regex block. You get this stuff. That was for table rows. Yeah, it's
check where you are. This is user 99 of 9.
Yeah, this is my homepage. And so we get that and we paste that into regex block. Here it is. But instead of table rows, these ones are list items. So I changed table row to LI, TR to LI, all the TRs to all the LIs. Okay, what that does is, and it basically grabs this whole thing
from LI to LI.
to the end of LI. And then within that, we have to do a regex that gets the bit that we actually want.
Gotcha.
So for example, there now I copy that one and I go over here. And so now we're in the regex entry. I paste the whole thing, all the LI to LI. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the bits that change between different items. So this first one that changes is the ID. So in there, we're going to have a matched thing. And the format of that matched thing will be all digits.
Numerics.
Yeah, all digits. So each one is a each one is a digit, which is referred to as a /D, and then I go star. So that will match anything which is numerical. And we scroll on, all of this stuff is nothing. Oh, okay. So there's one annoying thing about mix and match. That is, anytime you have a question mark, you have to escape it. I don't know why that is, but anyway, you have to escape it because I guess it was trying to match a question mark. Anyway, so you escape that, and then you go on and on.
Sorry,
and on.
what did you say?
Sorry, I put a slash in front of any question.
I saw that, but what did you call it?
It's called escaping a character.
Oh, you escape.
I don't know. It's some regular expression term. I'm not really a regular expression person, but I've learned through experience that I have to do that. So then over here, this end bit of the thing will also vary, and it's crucial. So this is the chunk that we want. And in that, we will collect anything that is not an open bracket, an open triangular bracket. So we'll collect a whole lot of those before it'll run out, because there will be an open triangular bracket. So that is code for keep collecting stuff until you get to the bracket. So so it's
brackets.
The big parentheses mean like this is a group of stuff.
Yep.
And then the square parentheses means any character from what's written here. But what's written in this list of characters is just one thing, not
a
less than sign. So any character will match it as long as it's not a less than sign.
Got you.
And so and then the star means you can collect as many of those as you like. So it'll collect as many not less than signs as it can until it gets to a less than sign, and then it'll stop collecting. So that's good. And then here,
briefly,
we've got a space, which is weird. But anyway, there's a space before the Schmidt. So I'm not going to collect the space because it's not part of the name. So I'm going to collect everything that is the name and the number. So I'll go brackets again. I'm going to collect, and I'm going to do basically the same thing, not a thing with a star. So it's actually the exact same pattern as we had there. And then I think we are almost done. So then down here, it'll extract from each of those items, it'll pull out those 3 bracketed things. The first one is actually already the ID. So that's already this /D thing will become the ID. So that will be called number what? By the way, these numbers now
are not the same as the numbers before.
It's not the same as the ones before. The ones before have now become L1 and L2. So if we do want them in this stuff, we can still use them, but they've been renumbered to L's. We won't need them tonight, so that's good. We'll just use the 1 and the 2. So the name will be $2, and this will be like a species. The description will be a species of Porifera. And now by $3, something like that. So the $3 will be like Schmidt brackets 1844. Right. So that should give us
authored by, I'd say.
Okay, sure.
Only because
yep, that's fine. So authored
I don't know what by means.
And so then the URL has been filled out for us already. It's using $1, which is correct. As in that's the ID. If sometimes you collect the ID and it was not the first thing you collected, so sometimes it's $2 or $3, and then you have to come in here and explicitly change it to 3 because it guesses that you always want number 1. Okay, and it even knows that we want to do taxa, so we'll get taxon in there. This actually, we're almost ready to go. So yep. This says compress white space before processing. It says recommended, makes it easier for the regex, and that is my experience. What's happening there is
bugger up the name. When we pulled out the name, we had name, comma, space, year. Yeah, and that was everything between the.
It will only mess it up if there are 2 spaces. It will become 1 space. So it's not going to remove all the spaces. It's just going to collapse them to a single space each time,
that will be
which is good. So I always want that. This one says,
oh, I see, compressed to a single space. Margaret can't read. It's a real pity.
No worries, no worries. This is like the stuff we're doing is complex, and there's only a few people in the world who do this. So don't worry, it's hard stuff. So then this encoding, UTF-8 encoding, it says is usually not needed. My experience is that it usually is needed because people who have names might have names that
they
have funny characters in them. Right?
Look, there's a lot of Swedes in this thing, and they've got super whatever.
Exactly. So admittedly, I can't see any here, but
no, there are.
But yeah, my experience is that you do need that often. So I'm going to say yes, we want that.
Swedes were big in taxonomy.
And then we go test, and this does not commit us to anything, but it sort of is a good way of checking what we've done. It says it has failed to find any. That is, it got an empty set result. That is probably because it has, so it's done a name starting with A and a name authority starting with S and a person ID starting with 15. Now, didn't we want 14?
Not 14.
Yeah. So what's slightly weird is it sometimes the one that it tests.
Oh, it starts with 0 or something.
No. I think it's strange. What it does is it says, oh, you want a long set. I'm going to show you the second item in that long set. Like you asked me for 2,000 pages, 2028 pages. I'm going to show you the second of those. And I don't know why, but if I just change that to 13, then, and maybe we can go down to 15. I think this will pick number 14, and it's just for the testing that odd numbering happens, but it is a little bit odd. So this is now collecting number 14, so that's good. It still says name A and authority S. So this looks like it should work. I'm going to open that as a tab just to see what it physically looks like. And so that's good. That is a kind of page that should return 9 different answers. So that means we've done something wrong in the regular expressions. It says up here that the list item thing found 47 list items. So that was good. But then all of them ended up with a 0. All of them ended up not matching this set, which means that I did something wrong here. So I'll just quickly look and see what I can see. Often it's when I don't escape the question mark that it goes to 0, but we did it right here. Oh, I wonder about the and. I wonder if I'm meant to escape an and as well. The good news is here, this is live. So so watch this. I'm going to close all those. This is the page it's actually looking at. So if I look at the page source of that one, still has all these LIs, these 9 that we want. By the way, it's also checking some other LIs. It's checking these LIs, which are a totally different format, and hopefully we won't get those ones. So, but anyway, we want to get these ones. So if I copy one of those in, we can try and see what I did wrong. Roll button item is checked. Okay, I can't see. It would be nice for me to show you what I did wrong here, but instead of that, I'm going to redo it and get it right. Sorry. Okay. So I just pasted one that definitely does appear on that page, and it still could not detect it. That's bad. It is probably because of this question mark. So I'll escape the question mark, and then it still can't detect it. So I'll escape this one. So now I'm struggling because it should match one of these.
Right. That's most curious.
It's possible that there's too many spaces. So like if I don't compress the white space, oh, it's probably already compressed that. So I know. Okay, another way to do it is to grab the HTML that it's seeing. So that's this HTML down here.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's very cute.
So here, for example, are some of these ones. So I'll grab that one. Oh, lost it. Sorry. Okay, go back there. It'd be nice if I can make it bigger. There we go. Okay, so I'll get one of those items and paste it up here, as though we're just getting that exact one, but it still doesn't find it. So, I know. Okay, so the question mark I know always needs it, so I'll do that. But see how it's not finding it. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to cut my thing up. I'm just going to see if it just find that first bit. No, it can't even find that. What if it can it find this? No, it can't even find that. Well, that's strange. What if it can it find this? Yes, it can. Okay. Where is the problem? It can find that. So nine entries. So that worked. So the class equal. So it might be the equal sign that's failing. So that, I know. So, it's the LI. Okay, so maybe my code is chopping the first. So maybe the brackets here are not including the LI bit. Okay, so maybe we've copied slightly odd code, but that's fine. What we'll do then is we'll just grab all of this without the LI on it. This is all inside the LI, and so this will be fine. Where's it gone? Here. So that should match as soon as we do the question mark. Yes. Okay. That's working. That found the one that we really specifically put in. And so then we can gradually make it more general. So this /d thing, any number of Ds, and it matched one entry. So that's good. Then go over here and get all the names and stuff. We're nearly there. I promise.
There we go.
Promise we're nearly there. So then this one becomes this. So it's the same as what I typed before. So the not ending, not a less than sign. Same here. Not less than sign, and so on. Okay, so now we've got 9 entries.
We've got 9 entries.
The exact number we want. So that's working finally. So we test the scraper again, and this time we'll get 9 different lines, and that's good news. So this one we ID, name, species, and that's failed us. So we've got to find out what happened there. But everything else looks good. So who's Sarah?
There, it hasn't coped with the.
It hasn't coped.
Oh, okay. So so that means I was wrong. This time we don't want that. So let's test it again and hope that works.
That's better. Yep, better.
Sarah is good. What's sensu top cent?
It's in the sense of top cent. So
okay. This is good, is it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Then
it's really saying that this name is in the sense given by top cent. Because they can have you can have sensu latum and sensu stricta and all this kind of stuff, which can compress, make the genus group smaller or larger, depending on whether you're taking it in a wide sense given by X, Y, Z, or in the narrow sense given by J, whatever. So it's normal.
Okay, so I was wrong. They were right. It was usually not needed, and so that's good. So that's all sort of working. If we press save this scraper, that will do it, and it'll make it. It'll make a mix and match set. It'll scrape all 2,000 pages, and it will do what we've told it to do for all of those 2,000 pages. The 2 things that are still wrong, that the reason we should not press save right now, that firstly, many of these pages I think will have more than 100, so we would just catch the first 100.
Right.
We will be missing some species on our Porifera set, which maybe we're willing to do a 99% job. I don't know. It would give us something. It would not be complete though.
And it would mean that we'd have a misleading label, because we'd say we're scraping species and people would think we were, but
we could just say incomplete something up here. We could say Porifera incomplete. So that's one problem. The other reason that it would be incomplete is because for whatever reason, WoRMS, when it gets only one result, does not give you a list of 1. It just goes to the 1. And we were not catching it, because we would get to this page, we would get to a page looking like this, and it would not have LIs on it, and it would not get a
Mm.
would
Gotcha,
not get the
gotcha.
item. So
Yeah.
that's
Returning you to page that
quite
is
an
a
awkward one.
completely different format.
Exactly. So that's quite awkward, that second problem. The first problem could be solved by cutting and spreading well and so on. But this second problem, I really don't know the answer. One would be to, when you get one result, you could probably use one less filter and then get a reasonable number of results. But it's all a little bit risky. I'm not sure what the best answer is here.
Terrific, actually, Toby. I mean, really useful having gone through this. And okay, we haven't created a WoRMS thing, and it looks like anything we do is not going to be. Well, yeah, I mean, like we could do the incomplete version, but as you point out, when what happens when we hit the page that has a totally different form? Oh, it just returns nothing.
I just gets a zero. Yeah, so that's
nothing,
not too
which
bad.
is no big drama because we're losing things anyway, because when we go over 100, so it doesn't make it any worse than
I agree. My suspicion is, because this key level didn't work very well, I would actually delete that level and go back to our name beginning with $1, $2. I'll show you what I'm doing, because this person ID thing didn't really come off. This will still be incomplete, but I think it'll be better. I think it'll have more in it than that first one. So if we go like $1, $2, and then $3 over there.
Gotcha.
This one, give them another.
And this level 2 will be lowercase, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, didn't put it in. Where have they gone? Oh yeah, here. There's level 2, and then add another level, which is capitals. Okay, so that, for example, would have 17,000 to scrape. That's a little bit. That will slow the mix and match server for a while, but it is. It is okay. Like Magnus hasn't ever told us what the limit is for like how many you're allowed to scrape. This is probably towards what he would like. We probably don't want to go like a factor of 10 over that, but that number is, I think, doable. Again, we can just test it. So
and some of those URLs anyway will return 0.
Yeah, but it wastes his bot's time to, and it maybe hammers the server as well to return zeros like that. Gotcha. So yeah, it is a little bit annoying. Again, I could put the S first to make sure we get one. Although I forgot what letters were used. Schmidt, A, C. Okay, so we put a C first and the second one. This one should test, except that again, it might use the second value. There you go. Okay, there's an example.
Oh, beautiful.
So it found 19 on that page. They all worked okay. A, C, A, C, A, C, A, all authored by one of the S's. So that's reasonable. It's fairly well spread out. And I think we would catch 99% of the Porifera.
I think that looks pretty good, actually, Toby.
So I'm okay and tempted to press go. But I don't know, up to you. Do you want to see how it goes? I think Magnus won't kill us. I think no one will be too confused.
Myself, but
yeah, you're happy with that? So we've called it incomplete. Yeah, let's try
we
it.
should say species rather than taxa. They're only species.
True.
And I'd say Porifera species. I'd put the Porifera before the species. And I would use a capital too, because
this bit was the name of the property. So it was called the WoRMS-ID for taxa, and then we're doing Porifera species. You're saying it's capital P.
Pure capital, yep.
Yeah.
It is a
Okay.
capital.
So here as well, P species. And then that's still all fine. Yeah. So I think we can do with that. Oh, the other thing to test is that this link works.
Oh, that's a good thought.
It should work. If it doesn't, then what we got wrong was this.
Mhm.
So if the ID is not $1, if it happened to be $3 or $4, then we would need to put it there as well. But anyway, in our case, it's going to work. I hope.
Let's test.
We test it and we get to the right place. Yeah,
That's lovely.
so that's fine. But just if it ever doesn't work for you, then chances are you have to go up to here to fix it. Oh, no. Didn't mean to actually change it. Right. Yeah, so okay, so let's just press save and then you can see what happens afterwards.
Let's test it again because you've had another fiddle.
Okay, sure. So same result.
Yeah, perfect.
So when we press save, at first I'll do it because at first it just adds this line, right? The scraper results were successfully saved. The run could take days in rare cases, and this one might, because we made it scrape tens of thousands of pages. But we can find out by going to this page. Again, I'm going to open it as a tab because this stuff, as soon as we lose all this stuff, as soon as we move away from this page, we lose all this stuff and we can't come back in and edit it. So I'm going to open it as a new tab and see what this new set looks like. And that's what it looks like. And it's empty at the moment because it is still running, and that's fine. So empty sets always come up with lots of nans, that's fine. And so we just wait. And after a while, it might be good. And then we'll be happy. So you're gonna refresh, but I think we shouldn't
I think we've probably
draw out
done it for today.
Yeah, we shouldn't draw out the recording too long. I might stop recording and then we can talk about other stuff. How do I do that? More stop